Hey guys, how's it going? I'm getting ready to plant a few more things out here in these raised beds. So in our last video, I planted up the back half of each one of them with asparagus, which I'm super excited to see grow. So I'm going to be planting a few more things up front in the front half of each of these beds. So these are not the raised beds that are going to be in our new vegetable area that I showed you in past garden tours. That garden has yet to go in. I'm really excited for that one. These are raised beds that were actually here when we moved in. They had herbs in them. So there was herbs in that side. I put some tomatoes in this bed last year, and then there was some lavender up here, and I put some vine crops up here. Anyway, it turned out to be a really good spot. It gets quite a good amount of sun throughout the day, but it's protected like from the super scorching late afternoon sun. So everything flourished and looked really pretty. So I think the asparagus will really like it. And then the plan for the front part of the beds is to put in a couple of crimson cherry rhubarb. So these come into the garden center as just little divisions of a bigger plant. We just potted them up in these peat pots, so they're not super rooted in, but honestly, I'd rather have it root in here in its spot so that I don't disturb new roots if I were to wait a little longer. And then I'm going to be planting 4 stonehead cabbage up on the front half here. So this rhubarb will probably take up a good 4x4 section, and then the cabbage will fill in the front. I might have a little bit of room for lettuce. So a couple of things I really like about the crimson cherry rhubarb is that it's the reddest rhubarb variety there is. So it's red from base to the leaf. The whole stalk is red, which looks really pretty. So not only do you get those bright red stems, but you get the big, bold rhubarb leaves too. I really like the way they look, and I love to use it in the kitchen. The stalks can get like 2 feet long, and it's a really heavy producer, and it's also really adaptable to a lot of different soil types, which is great for my area because if I were to be planting straight in the soil, I would need something that could handle more alkaline soil because we have a really high pH here. But I'm planting in raised beds, which means that I can control a little bit more of what the soil is doing, which is really nice. So I've already added in compost. I added about a 2-inch layer yesterday and tilled it all in. And then when I plant, I'm gonna add a little bit of biotone starter fertilizer. So I'm just gonna go ahead and plant the rhubarbs, and then I'll talk to you about the cabbage. So the cabbage I am planting is called Stonehead. I really like that variety because it's not a huge, enormous head. It's kind of a more small size, which for Aaron and I, for 2 people, is really perfect. I don't need those giant cabbage heads, and I don't do sauerkraut or anything like that yet. I hope to try it out someday. But these ones still keep really well. And they mature in 75 days, which is awesome. So those bigger heads usually are 100 or 110 days, so this one will be able to harvest a little bit earlier. So what I'm gonna do is just spread each one of them out equally. It says to space them about 30 inches, and you guys know if you've ever grown cabbage, you know how big, even the small heads of cabbage, the plants get pretty good size. So I wanna give them plenty of room to grow. So I'll just space them out equally, and then I'm going to fertilize them, and then I'm gonna be putting a cloche over the top. So these are a garden dome cloche. Let me just say really quickly that whoever makes these needs to rethink their sticker situation because the sticker is a total pain to get. I can't even get it off. Like this one, this is what it looks like with me just trying to pick it off with my fingernails, which I don't have very much fingernails, but, and then this one right here is 3 times with fingernail polish remover. Like, how do you get these freaking stickers off? So I know that like some people in a boardroom probably thought that it was a really good idea because the sticker wouldn't come off and their brand would still show, but it really ticks me off. It's a good thing they're still pretty because I'll just let the weather wear them off, I guess. The thing I really like about these, rather than the white just paper hot caps, is that they have this event, well, they look pretty. You know, they kind of look like the Victorian bell jar, but they also have these little vents on the top that you can open and close, because at this point it's really not cold enough to merit needing to put a hot cap on cabbage because cabbage is a cold crop. But I do it mostly for, there's Dexter. I do it mostly for wind protection. So if I can keep them vented and keep them able to breathe, then they'll be good inside these cloches. So I'm gonna grab my hose really quick because I'm gonna water these things in before I put the cloches on. All right. right, it's cloche time. So I'm just gonna take one of them and put them over each of the cabbage, just kind of nestling it down. Oh, see, they're a little flimsy. Nestling it down into the soil a little bit. So at the bottom of each one of these things, there's a little lip. So let me show you. Can you see that right there? There's a little lip that the soil can go up over that will help hold the cloche down onto the ground. I'm gonna angle the tags away from you guys so you guys can see what it would look like had the tags been easier to take off. So all the planting of the veggies is all done. So now I want to talk to you about what's in these tubs. So this tub right here contains a bunch of herbs. So when I was cleaning out these beds, that front one over there had a bunch of herbs in it that I dug out, and this is where they all, well, a sampling of them landed. There's chives right here, there's parsley, thyme, lavender, and tarragon. And tarragon doesn't survive here, so I don't know how it came back. Like, it was here last spring and then it survived this winter and it's back. So hopefully it survives. And then there's a couple of random things. There's a little heuchera. I don't even know where that came from. Like, it was just in there and it's this little baby. So I took it out and thought I could let it grow on here. If it's gonna do its thing, I can pop it out and put it somewhere else. And also a little sempervivum. We did a ton of succulent projects right out here and it must have just fallen off the table, or maybe Dexter grabbed one of those and it landed. It was right in the soil, just growing and happy as can be, looking really pretty. So they're all planted in here. I just used the Espoma Organic potting soil as the medium, and yeah, hopefully they all grow. So let me show you the other tub. So this is actually from a video we did last year. Oh, look at Dexter. Oh, cute. Oh, he's all curled up in a ball in one of our planters. So cute. So anyway, like I was saying, this tub was actually part of a video we did last year where we just planted in a bunch of galvanized containers, just showing just some alternative containers and how you can grow edibles in them. So I had planted a raspberry right in the center, and for the life of me, I cannot remember what varieties I put in here, so I'm gonna have to go watch that video again. But there is one raspberry plant that is gonna be a lot bushier this year. There's a lot more growth at the base. And then there's five strawberry plants, and they bloom pink. They're really, really cute, and the strawberries were really good, and they all came back. So they're all flushing back new growth. And this was out here, you guys, like totally unprotected. I did not move it into the cold frame. So everything survived our winter, just sitting right in this spot, which is amazing. And then I just planted a couple pansies in there just because there was some open space and I wanted something pretty and colorful. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, just seeing some of the things I'm planting, and we will be updating you guys on the progress as the season progresses. So anyway, we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.